Yeah, that's what I need to be able to stay up at my peak temperature that I'm at during the week. You've got to wonder if I am hot and if I have a fever of 103, but the Dark Jedi could take it because, I have a little bit of dark powers. And some of you out there, dark Jedi powers, dark powers, light powers, it's the Dark Jedi. Come on. And if you saw my video from Instagram this morning, since real early, I have been brewing because I have been up and about. But I have been looking forward all day to the big shebang, the big show here at 6 Scale Cantina, the market show live, and come on. And in case you don't know who I am, or you're saying, like, who is this guy live? I am the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, and I'll be serving up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk. And man, some of you saw the banner that I have out there. It's actually pretty close. We're getting close to March, which means we got March and April. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's going to be the first week of May and May 4th. And are you kidding me? And you have to wonder, is it possible that we are going to get blown out of the water with what Hot Toys is going to show us, announcement-wise, tease-wise for Hot Toys for Star Wars? And I say, yes, come on. I'm telling you right now, I even got right off the bat the proper 6 right here, proper 66, proper 6. I guess I should make a proper 6. What the heck is that? That's only half a 12, but this is the proper 12, baby. Who dares sits at table 66? It's not Fabio because he's at the head table here with me. Fabio, what's going on in Fabio land, brother?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me as usual. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, not a whole lot, dude. I'm looking to actually, in part of this show, dude, continue on from where we left off on the Aries Tarrington show this past Wednesday, which I think this next Wednesday, I already talked to you, Fabio. We're going to kind of do the same thing. Couple weeks in a row, we're going to have some guests on the Aries Tarrington show, and we're going to continue on with that. But look who else is in here. Boston Collectors. Dude, you had me like, I was pretty like I was like wowed with your with how the Hot Toys Wizard took on your likeness, dude. Being honest.
Thank you. It wasn't as good as Loco Lou. What you gonna do? Man, his was crazy. I liked his.
Yeah.
That's top tier, man. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate y'all for having me. Can't wait to get into it.
Come on. I think everybody's a top tier. Listen, it's the Hot Toys Wizard taking on the likeness. I don't think any of you could have anything to do with it. It's just whatever the wizard decides to do. And you have to wonder if he's going to take on the likeness of Dante again, maybe back in Puerto Rico like the first time, like Fabio said. Come on. What's going on, Dante?
How you doing, nerds? How you doing, everyone in the panel? Everyone watching at home? As always, happy to be here, my friend. We have a lot to talk today, so that's going to be a very interesting night. So if you want to get drinks, let us know the table, and we'll serve all the drinks. I'm at table 69, by the way.
I hope you're feeling better from today. I think we all missed your show yesterday, my friend, but so glad to have you on today. Crazy week at work. We're all talking about that backstage. But here we are. And last but certainly not least, we've got Victoria back from Victoria's Cantina. Victoria, what's going on, girl?
Hey, Aries, how's it going? Hey, everybody in the panel. Hello, everybody in the chat. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on once again, and I'm stoked. I love talking to you guys, and I'm sure we got some great topics coming up, so let's do it.
Yeah, we're just gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm telling you right now, welcome to everybody who's in here. You are watching the Market Show live here on a Saturday evening, same time, same station, our 6 p.m. regular weekly show. And let's say hi to everybody in here right now. And if I miss you, just keep chatting. I'll get you throughout the night. Look, I'm an old guy trying to figure out these controls still. And Boston Collectors in the house. I have no idea who this is. And the Big Daddy 64. I'm at the bar next to the Wookiee. Which Wookiee? Chrysanthemum? Is it Chewbacca? I have to wonder. Come on, let me know, baby. Good to have you in here. Rodolfo's in here, everybody. Hello to you as well. Sinister, SMR, Will C in the house. Loco Lou. Loco Lou will be joining us a little bit later. He's getting his hair all done, Fabio. He's getting all fixed up. He's been messaging me today just to make sure when he's making his debut here on the Market Show live. That I think he wants to like fit the bill, like you do with the cigar, or like the Wizard did. You know?
I think his hair plugs are falling out, so he's getting.
Vengeful Canadian is in the house. Nice hat, Aries. Yeah, I guess you like your Toronto Blue Jays. Come on, let's go. Eric is in the house. Good to have Eric in here. That is awesome. Man of Hot Collectibles. Dante, I have no idea who that is. Mitchell is in the house. Hey, all panel. And Aries, refill, please. Really? Come on. All right, let's fill it up. Are you at table 5 or are you at table 88? Since Grogu's getting so much better with the Force, he just kind of hops from table 88 to table 5. He can hop wherever you're going to go. Come on. Let's continue to say hi to everybody in here. Paul Morales in the house. Louis Labitz. Awesome. Chewy's 6-scale bandolier. Aries repping the Jays. Come on. You know it, baby. Collector Chris. Hello, Aries and everyone. They call him the Wizard. Really?
They call him the Wizard.
I think they call Fabio the Wizard. I mean, he's the one with Fab. I don't have Fab. Look how many freaking figures he has right behind him. Goodness gracious. Punisher XS is in the house. Link in the house tonight. Hello to you as well. Caleb Martell. Let's continue to go through here. The Thor. 2941. Awesome in the house as well. And I'll continue to flash you all up. Continue to chat in there. I'll try and catch you all, but if I didn't catch you, welcome as well. We got 63 in here already. And go ahead, and is it possible that you've hit the like button? And I say, please do. Come on, hit the like button. If this is the first time that you're watching 6-Scale Cantina, hit the subscribe button. And already a super chat from Seth. Our good friend Seth here, great supporter to the channel. Seth Reckup, good to have Seth in here. And he says, just got an email that my tank trooper commander is shipping soon. Could have and should have been Ahsoka. Oh my goodness gracious. I am so ready for that figure, Dante. I am so ready for that figure, but I feel like week after week and month after month, I'm like, where is she? Where is she? Look, I still remember on holiday vacation. You know, I was trying to hunt her down in Hilton Head. Come on. Dante, what are the has the Hot Toys Wizards cousins, sisters, brothers, uncle told you any news about Ahsoka? Come on.
No, not really. They just took a holiday vacation, so I don't know. You might be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, look.
They told me it was going to be released 2022, so we'll see.
You sure? Just like, well, what did they say? Pennywise was going to get released.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Right.
Thank you for that. I mean, a little bit different when you're talking about Ahsoka, right? Come on, Fat Batman is in the house. Great panel. Let's go, Grogu. Yeah, Grogu, man. Grogu's thirsty already again. Come on. And Valiant Archer is in the house. Good to have you in here. Uncommon Flex, welcome as well. Clink is in here. What up, Aries and everyone? What is up to you? So glad to have you in here. And yeah, awesome. So, yeah, with Ahsoka, I feel like, Dante, that it's been I've been telling people when we talked about this in a couple of shows I had the past week, I talked about it. I think we're still getting out of the Chinese New Year. I know for me, I work with several companies that are still getting everybody back from the new year, and not every company is back until March 1st. I know we got some announcements. I don't know if Hot Toys is back on full throttle, if they're operating in full thrusters, or maybe just one quarter impulse power. Using a Star Trek reference, and soon we're going to go ahead and increase it. But I think as far as the releases goes, I already can tell you what's going to happen with announcements, baby. We're going to get into that today. But I think as far as releases goes, I think over the next week or two, we may get hit with not just one, which will be Ahsoka, but maybe several. What say you?
It is very possible. It all reminds me when we were back in October, I believe, that we got 1 week with several releases. I think we're like 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. So it is possible. I mean, it happened before, right? And if they're gonna go back in full force, then they might as well do several releases. Which I don't know how it's gonna be received, because when you get too many releases at once, that means if you didn't, for example, pay it off, or you pre-ordered it and then you're gonna get hit with everything. It could be difficult, right? Because then you need to choose which one you want to get first, or all of them, or one or two, whatever. I think we're gonna get hit with a bunch of stuff coming very soon, so we just need to wait. Hato is the only one who knows when things are gonna come out, obviously, right? We the only the,
Well, I
everything
think
we
the
do
Hot
here.
Toys wizard knows sometimes more than even Hot Toys, but continue.
Right, yeah. All we can do is just pretty much share what we were told, pretty much, right? Some experts out there, they know maybe more information than I do, but let's see. We'll probably see something coming soon, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're going to get hit with a few, maybe very, very quickly, or at least maybe one a week and another week and another week, or maybe a couple of a week. Boston Collectors, very interesting. I think we kind of forgot maybe at about February 14th, right around Valentine's Day, that it was still for some people in age. It's still they're celebrating the Chinese New Year,
Mhm.
and a lot of us even said before, don't expect a whole lot until the last week of February or March. But I think release wise, and it might not be Ahsoka. Let's be honest, it might not be. It could be Anakin. It could be several of the other figures that we're waiting for. We got a Grogu that's due out between January and March. That has a ship date as well.
Mhm.
It can be a plethora of other figures, but I
Tank
think we're going to
Trooper,
get some Tank Trooper. Come on.
Transport Trooper. We've got what, Django. We've got Maul. We've got Anakin. The list goes on.
Hmm.
But I do think Ahsoka's been ready. It's just I don't think it's necessarily having to wait for them to come out of Chinese New Year. It's on. I genuinely feel like it's on the docks. It's just taking time.
Yeah, no, I absolutely do too. Victoria, let's go to you. I know you collect a lot of Hot Toys. I don't know if you're actually some collectors are getting this Clone Wars Ahsoka. Some are choosing to get the Rosario Dawson one. Some are getting both. But I think whether it's Ahsoka, whether it's Jango Fett, whether it's another Grogu figure here that we're going to get, some of these other figures, I think we're about to, coming out of the Chinese New Year, get the announcements very, very quickly within the next week or two.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I am one that pre-ordered both because I don't see any other way around it.
Me either.
And
Me
yeah,
either.
and I mean we're 2 years out now from, I believe, the end of season 7 Clone Wars. So the longer this gap continues, you just feel it a little bit more like, where's Ahsoka? Where's Ahsoka? Where's Maul? But I have to feel like it's imminent. Obviously, it's anyone's guess exactly when it's going to come out, but I feel like it's got to be pretty soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And I know we're all excited for it. I just hope that, as you've said, Aries, on your show with your various panels and guests, hopefully it looks pretty close to the first pictures that we saw when it was solicited. But hopefully it's soon. I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and staying with you real quick, Victoria, did you see the the instruction booklet pictures or some of the concerns with that. I'm not concerned, but I mean, you never know. I mean, it is interesting to kind of decipher through some of this stuff when everyone's looking at past manuals and, ooh, did they use a prototype? Did they do this? Did they do that? Did they do this? um yeah, I think it's going to look good though. I think it's going to look exactly like what they're showing us on their Hot Toys website, and also at Secret Base. But what do you really think in your heart, Victoria?
I think so too. Ultimately, the instruction manual is just a little piece of it. Nobody's going to know exactly what this looks like until we get it in hand. So it's really, I don't feel worth it. Getting too worried about it not looking great. I think it's going to look great. I think we're going to enjoy having it, and I just don't want to jump the gun and say, "Hey, this instruction manual is out," so that it's got to look more like that than what it looks like in the initial photos. So I feel like it's going to look good. I think we're all going to be happy with it.
Yeah, we can't be worried about it. You only can be worried before we get to Fabio from Fab's Land, Fabio World, whatever it is. You only should be concerned if you're close to or sitting right at table 66 with this guy.
Good. And he get good. Good.
And let me tell you something, Fabio. That buttermilk, and I got it here on tap today. It's on special. It's on special. It's happy hour right now. We do that on a Saturday here at the Cantina. Come on. I'm not concerned about that. You know what I'm more concerned about? Or you know what I'm not concerned about it at all, actually. I'm more concerned about table 66 at the Cantina. I find it interesting, Fabio, that we're going to get Ahsoka Rosario Dawson really, really soon. And this is kind of
Well,
they're kind of neck and neck.
we hope that we get her.
Well, go
soon.
ahead, go. I
Doesn't
know where you're
mean,
going to go with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, we hope we get her soon because we thought we were going to get this a long time ago as well. So I don't know if that's going to affect getting this Ahsoka so late. I don't know if it's going to affect the release of the other one. So hopefully it doesn't, but you never know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know what's interesting, Fabio, staying with you? It's kind of like if a figure like Ahsoka's delayed, everyone's like, "Oh, what is all these delays?" I don't know. I feel like with other figures though, they've come early. They've come earlier. Like the Boba Fett 2-pack came way early from where it was going to be. You got figures that are coming out, but I think we're so focused on Ahsoka. That Anakin could come out, and if that Anakin came out tonight, if that Anakin came out tomorrow, Fabio, if it came out Monday, Tuesday, no one would think anything because it's right on time, right? And if they came out with some of these other figures, I mean, they could come out with that 40th Luke snowspeeder pilot. They could come out with Django. And it'd be like, okay, well, they came out with Luke a little bit early here. They came out with Django. And it makes me wonder, what is the holdup with Ahsoka? Because I don't necessarily, especially if a scenario like that happens, I don't really feel like everything else is held up.
Well,
per se.
that's what I don't understand. That's what I understand with the whole situation with Ahsoka, because I feel like everybody has their own theory on what's going on. Stuck at the ports, this and that. We don't know. We really don't know, and you can't even assume because remember that Hot Toys doesn't really have a specific what's the word? Like a specific like plan. I feel like they don't have a this is going to be released. They just go. They're all over the place. I feel like and that's what we can never pinpoint what is coming when, because they just do whatever they want, and there's no way of trying to figure out. Okay, they have a pattern going. They have this specific way of doing it. You can't, So everybody just has to make up their own reason and excuse to make sense of why this is so so backed up.
Yeah, Boston Collectors, going back to you, it's real interesting because I feel like that some of these figures actually come out early. I mean, I think we would definitely be a lot more focused than just Ahsoka if it was really we're waiting for, some of these other ones. I feel like we're waiting for her. So going off of what Fabio said and what I'm just wondering about, we're both wondering, do you think that there's, what do you think it is with her? I mean, it could be, I don't think anyone knows 100% for sure, except Hot Toys and Howard Chan. But go ahead.
Honestly, because my wife was just talking to me about this yesterday. She said, "Oh, did you hear about the ship that had an issue and like all of the exotic cars it was cargo that ended up sinking?" And I'm like, I hope Ahsoka wasn't on that boat. But jokes aside, because it's been a very, very long time. I'm still going to stick to my guns. And like Fabio said, like we can sit here and kind of, shoot the breeze back and forth about what we think. She could be down there with those exotic cars, or she could be on the docks. And I genuinely think she's on the docks.
well. Listen, look. It's an interesting topic because I've thought about it.
This is where the fun begins.
And now that you've opened it up and you've opened up that can of awesomeness, I'm going to go to Dante real quick here. Here's the thing. Is it possible that something like that happened? And they're certainly doing a great job, Dante, keeping it under wraps if something like that did happen. But there were some holdups before. Remember with that IG-11? My goodness, I think that was held up last year 5 or 6 months, while a lot of other things were not. For instance, you got the Rey. You got the Kylo. You got this. You got that. You got Lando early. And is it more because there's not necessarily a problem with the figure? And not necessarily because they changed a head sculpt or they did this or they did that, but because of exactly what Jonathan said and what his wife told him, which is actually happens with a lot of things going around in the world, not just Hot Toys. This is happening. What if those things are actually on the bottom of a ship somewhere?
Probably stuck somewhere. You never know. I mean, normally when something is about to be released, they expect to have something already incoming this way, right? And they just kind of coordinate the date. So by the time they announce something, a shipment is pretty much on its way here to be delivered, right, to the customers. So it's a lot of things going on in the world now. So really, delays are happening. I mean, holidays are happening, so those things we need to take into account. I was actually talking to Fabio and Easy the other day about the Ahsoka when we saw the instruction manual, right? How weird that looks, right? And I think we spoke about this many shows before. It is, I we really hope that that was just an instruction manual that just it doesn't represent the product that we're gonna see, because a lot of people got concerned about it. I think a delay could be probably because of that. Maybe they discovered something that they want to address. I don't know. Maybe it's coordination with another store here in the US that we know. It could be too many things. It could be too many things, but it is pretty much imminent, right? I got somebody shared with me that that figure was supposed to be released on Thursday, I believe, but didn't happen. So at this point, only Mr. Howard knows what to do.
We may have to actually send the men in black out to kind of find out where Ahsoka is.
So, you guys seen that Wangas?
Sure you don't want some coffee?
We have to uncover this mystery. Look, boy, Victoria, it's really interesting because this does happen in other industries, and it happens from time to time. And right now, with the way the world is right now, it's a little bit volatile. Boy, that would be like a pickle. They would have to that would be a pickle. I don't think that happened, or it could be held up, but it's really interesting because my point is we would absolutely notice, Victoria, if everything's held up. But we're getting other figures, which means they're not all on the same containers, or they're not all on the same boat, or if they choose to air freight some of them, or some of them are already in the docks. It could be even Victoria Fabio. He has all those boxes. Maybe he went and greased the palms of those dock workers, and he's got all the Ahsokas. You have to wonder, what do you think's going on here?
It's really hard to say. It would be nice if there was a way to maintain a dialogue with Hot Toys and just go to them for the answer. There's things like you were saying that are delayed and everywhere, all across the board. There's Hasbro stuff that's delayed. There was a Clone Trooper Black Series that was announced like a year ago. It was supposed to be out in August. Walgreens exclusive. It's still, people are still waiting on it. It's still held up. Meanwhile, other Black Series are coming out. So it's, is it something that maybe it is at the dock somewhere? Possibly. I would be more inclined to think it's more of a production manufacturing thing. Maybe they had to go back and make some changes to it. Maybe they had some issues, materials weren't up to snuff, and they had to go back and make a new manufacturing plan. I know a lot of these things rely on schedules at factories, and if you miss your window, like you plan to put something into production, you miss that manufacturing window because something isn't ready, then you got to get it back on the schedule and you got to go back to the back of the line, basically. So it could be something like that. I'd be inclined to think it's something along those lines. But it would be really nice to be able to, like we can do with other companies. Like I have the Q&As with Hasbro every few months where you get to ask them, hey, why are we still waiting on this figure or that figure? I wish that Hot Toys had something similar where you could maintain a dialogue with them and go straight to the source for at least a little bit more information. But I would say it's, if I had to guess, probably some sort of manufacturing delay.
Boy, you really opened up something, Victoria, that I absolutely want to get into. And with 97 in here already, go ahead and hit the like button, baby. You are watching the big shebang here at 6 Scale Cantina. It is the Market Show Live. And would you look at this panel? And we still have one more that's coming. What you gonna do when Loco Lou runs wild on you on the Market Show Live? Come on. He's gonna be joining in here in just a little bit. But Victoria, you bring up a good thing from a manufacturing standpoint. And before I get into it and go to Boston Collectors, Grogu needs a refill. And let me know what table you're at, and I will make sure that I refill you. And we've got EZ, my good friend EZ Company Collectibles, is in the house saying Aries. And you have to wonder, is EZ Company Collectibles going to be back on the Aries Tarrington show this coming Wednesday? We have got EZ, we have got Fabio, we've also got Desi from Metamorphic Customs, and we've also got Dante right from the bus also coming up Wednesday night. Going to be chatting in there. Come on. Listen, Boston Collectors, Victoria brings up a good point, because I know from years in manufacturing, even when you're finished with production, sometimes there could be a question, a legal issue, something with the customer per se, and just talking anything. It could be a variety of reasons we don't know. But I wouldn't rule that out. I think that that's an interesting point that Victoria has brought up, because that does happen all the time in manufacturing.
Yeah, it does. And I think that she brought up a great point in terms of, opening dialogue with the, just with Hot Toys in general. But like Akina said in the chat there, Hot Toys isn't going to open dialogue because they know we'll wait. And it's a sad truth, right? But it would be great if they did open dialogue with us. But I also think Dante brought up something interesting too, because if you notice, Sideshow, they just announced their diorama with Ahsoka and Darth Maul, and then they released a print, Ahsoka and Darth Maul. Are they waiting for Darth Maul before they say something about Ahsoka? That's a whole nother thing we could talk about too.
Well, with Darth Maul, they've already pushed that out to Fabio. Let's go to you to March, May, or is it March, April? I don't know. I'll pull it up here while we're talking. But that would be interesting, because you would think that they would do the same with Ahsoka, but maybe but not necessarily, because like you said, it's hard to pinpoint what Hot Toys does, and that's a Sideshow thing anyway. You would think they get the information from Hot Toys, and that's why they make those adjustments.
But they could be hinting at that as well. You know what I mean? By giving us that statue and that print, it's like, it's coming. It's like a subtle little hint. But like you said, it's Sideshow, so a lot of people won't put two and two together. But it could be them hinting that it's coming soon.
Yeah, and Dante, they put the manual up Sideshow, And they didn't do that for a while. That was a clear indication that they're getting ready to release these figures. And maybe it is at the dock. That's been the rumor. They uploaded the manual, and maybe it's just simply waiting for to find the container, or waiting their turn. Is it stuck in the bottom of the ocean? But it also could be some type of licensing thing. It could be. I've seen it before in manufacturing and production, where even when you got everything done, they're like, wait, whoa, you did what? We got to talk about this. We got to dot this I first. And they could say, hold the horse. That could be it. That could be it, Dante.
Or it could be with Fabio at his home with all those boxes, and we can speculate right here. With this thing,
he's right. They're right here, all of them.
Yeah, see a couple. Exactly. Go ahead and go back to there, please, Fabio, if you don't mind. That there you go. We just found them. There's the Ahsokas.
That's it. That's it. That's the Ahsokas. Yeah.
Listen, everybody who's watching here live, those aren't empty boxes. Is it possible that all those boxes that Fabio just showed you from Fabio Land are unopened? And I say yes.
One thing I care about you is Fabio Land has a good customer service. That's a good thing. at least we know that for a fact. That he's
always on time, Dante. I don't know why you always say he's late to your show.
Hey, listen, I get my stuff overnight. He's late on my shows, but I get stuff overnight. So that's good.
Victoria, if you ever have Fabio on or ever do anything with Fabio, I guarantee you he will never be late. He's only late with Mr. Dante.
Good to know.
That's an urban legend I created. No, I just Fabio's sometimes he's late. But going back to the Ahsoka, what we can do is, it is funny, right? When we get information and we share it, people like it, and when it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. We're not there, right? We are not there. The only thing we can do is share, so everyone know. Some people take it very personal, like, oh, it didn't happen. Oh my God, you're wrong. You did, because some people are like that. We just share what we were told. That's all. I mean, do I have any proof? Of course not. It's like somebody, hey, listen, this is coming. Okay, let me share with everyone. That's all. I don't want credit. Other people like to claim credit for everything, but I just let it go. If it happens, happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Simple as that. We think that when it is possible, I kind of like what Boston said about the possibility of having Maul as well with Ahsoka. That was another information that was shared a while back ago as well. So it is still a possibility. You never know. Maybe we hit with 3 releases in one day, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh damn,
or maybe, and I'm gonna let you go with this, and maybe to Boston Collector's point, I'm gonna bring up another point here. Maybe it's not Maul. Is it possible that it goes even better with Anakin? Because Anakin was her,
master.
Master. So I mean, that would be sick, everybody, if you got the Clone Wars Anakin.
Wow.
With Ahsoka, and you have to get that Anakin is coming real quick, fast, and hurry. Because what is it? May 25th that the new Obi-Wan series starts? Come on. Just saying.
Yeah. I need it. I already have the Anakin with the Stap on pre-order paid off. I've just been waiting. And that's a really good point too. Maybe it's not Ahsoka and Maul, although like Fabio said, if we pay attention to what they've been doing recently, it's Ahsoka and Maul, but they could throw in the monkey wrench and say, Ahsoka and Master Anakin. So it's a possibility, and I'd welcome it.
Well, Community Arcade, we're about to get into some real coffee spilling stuff. Listen, I'm going to read your comment here in a minute. At the end of the day, is it possible, because the Chinese New Year is now coming to an end and people still celebrating it over there, companies that are still recognizing that, are we going to start getting all these announcements coming probably in consecutive order? And I say yes. But let's get into some big stuff over here, which I'm going to kick off with Victoria. Community Arcade says, hello, friends. Drinking that Grogu juice at table 66, you got a lot of courage.
Good, and it get good. Good.
And Victoria, every time my family or my wife and I watch, which is like a lot, Revenge of the Sith, and we see that whole sequence of when Anakin discovers, that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, and then it goes on to, when he, fights the Jedi and Mace Windu, and that whole part there, it just continually, I can never watch it too many times where it doesn't send chills down my spine, Victoria. Come on. But listen, here's what I want to get into now, because this is a great panel to do this with. That Loco Lou will be coming in soon, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen if I can cue up the right tab. Bear with me. There we go. And I also got chills down my spine, and I want to talk about this as we talk about some of the things that we can start expecting in Star Wars. But when I saw this happen in Chapter 5, and we started seeing the armor, and we started seeing the heavy infantry Mandalorian, and we started to learn more about the lore about the dark saber, and we saw Mando, and they start bringing up Grogu, I'm starting to feel chills, just like with the Emperor. I start connecting dots. Then what happened in Chapter 6? Oh my goodness gracious, we got Luke, we got Grogu, we got R2, we got Ahsoka, or we got Jedi Temple being built. Are you kidding me? We got Cad Bane, and that was what the show was named after. Forget about all that stuff that happened in there. Is it possible, Victoria, that I spilled my coffee? Come on. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like it was just so epic. And how I want to start this off is just getting your feeling. I've never been at this point more excited than I've ever been than right now to be a Star Wars fan, because of what I'm wondering. They've got me guessing, Victoria, what to expect. I'm
Totally. It's a great time. You have all this content that's about to be unleashed. We just got the Book of Boba Fett. We've had 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. We have Obi-Wan coming on May 25th. We have the Andor series later in the year, possibly Mando season 3 later in the year into early next year. And then that's not to mention Ahsoka and the Lando show. And I mean, the content is going to be continuous, and that's not to say that any of these shows may not have multiple seasons, which is just going to keep it going longer and longer. And I absolutely agree. It's an amazing time, one of the best times to be involved in this fandom, in this community, and just seeing what they're doing with the lore, continuing to build it out and to flesh it out. And going back to your comments areas on Revenge of the Sith, I completely agree. That's one of my top 2 favorite Star Wars movies. I can watch it any day, anytime, any place. It's just fantastic from start to finish. I hope we get more hot toys from Revenge of the Sith, because I think there's plenty of options there too, an opportunity. But yeah, it's a time like no other, and I think we're really lucky if you're a Star Wars fan to be living during this time and experiencing not just the content, but also what the manufacturers are doing across the board, from Hasbro to Hot Toys to Funko and Gentle Giant and Sideshow and Lego, and I mean, everybody's doing stuff to celebrate Star Wars in a big way. This year is the 45th anniversary of A New Hope, so I mean, this has been going on a long time, and I hope that they do tie it into A New Hope in some way later in the year as well. But there's a lot of content, there's a lot of balancing these manufacturers need to do as well to satisfy the newcomers as well as the longtime fans. But yeah, it's a great time to be here. It's a great time to be doing this, to be talking about and speculating about, these things that have obviously brought us all together. And yeah, I completely agree with you. It's an amazing time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, and one of the things that I am just so excited about as well is just seeing how they brought in the Mandalorian, how they brought in Grogu, how they brought in Luke, how they brought in all of this. And the very interesting thing about this whole scenario is the finale of Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 7, was up 36% in the ratings from the season finale of The Mandalorian season 2. And I know my daughters and all their friends, and except they're just so excited about Star Wars. Star Wars has never been hotter, Dante, and it's going to be real interesting to see with the book of with the Mandalorian season 3. It is rumored that this is going to take place exactly right from where the book of Boba Fett ended, Dante. You're going to see Cobb Vanth in the back the tank over there. You're going to get the first mission right back in the ship with Grogu and the Mandalorian. And the real interesting thing here, Dante, is there's a strong rumor from the same sources that predicted what happened in Book of Boba Fett with Grogu and Luke and Ahsoka, that the Mandalorian is going to be seeking out Luke to help learn more about the Darksaber. And actually, Luke is supposed to be teaching him some with the Darksaber. So you have to wonder what Grogu actually chose in the Book of Boba Fett, Dante, because I don't know if it's as clear cut as we may think, because they kind of didn't tell us everything. But it's very, very exciting. Go.
Yeah, and I like that. Believe it or not, I like that because one of the scenes, Grogu was pretty much doing his training, and Ahsoka was talking to Luke, and Ahsoka said something along these lines to Luke that he's teaching him well, and he said, "No, I'm actually not teaching him. He's remembering." So something along those lines. Please don't quote me on that one. I suck at remembering lines, but the point is that Grogu was trained for many years. I'm assuming at least 10, at least 5 to 10 years, just put it that way, right?
Yeah,
Because
even longer,
he's
but I know
50,
where you're going.
or
Yep, absolutely.
even
Yeah.
longer. So he lost his memory, and that's what is implied in the show, that he lost the memory. So now maybe he's a master already and he just forgot, and maybe he has the power sleeping inside of him, and he might be um Din Djarin's mentor at one point. Maybe he can teach him something to him, right? Um, I think that rumor that you mentioned, Aries, it may be connecting those little dots. Maybe at one point Grogu sees him, Mando training with Luke, or trying to teach him how to use the dark saber, and then maybe he start remembering something. I don't know, but they need to develop that a little bit, right? So far, I'm very curious and see how they can explain this further, right? And the fact that we have a Luke Skywalker here that seems to be, based on the information that you just provided and some rumors out there, that he may be more involved in the next season more than what we've seen so far, which I 100% welcome.
Yeah, me too. A big shout out here to P Rockzilla, my man in the house. Just wanted to say what's up to the panel. Get to take care of some things. Please hit that like button, fellow collectors. Come on. And P Rock, are you excited? I know that the fight got changed, but we got Bobby Green versus Islam Mavacek. I'm going to stumble over my words tonight with UFC. Come on. I know you're watching it, baby. And I ain't missing it for the world. Yeah, and I see your super chats in there. We'll get to that in a second. Jonathan, let's go to you, Boston Collectors. What I was real excited about, and what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of the general public too, casual Star Wars fans. I've got 2 older daughters that are diehard fans. Another daughter, way more Marvel. Was seeing a lot of their friends who were just real casual. What they really enjoyed was seeing Boba Fett team up with Mando and work together.
Yeah.
And they really, and because they love that from the Mandalorian season 2. But they also liked all the women that were in there. You had Casca, you had Cara Dune, you had Katie Sackhoff. Yeah, you had all of them together. I feel like that there's like a whole, and now it looks like you're going to get Cobb Vanth involved in the fray of this all as well. But part of the rumor is that they all come together on this real dangerous mission Grogu, for a little bit of a time, a show or two, goes with Ahsoka for whatever reason, while Luke teams up with Mando and Boba to go after this threat. What is this threat? Does it tie into Grand Admiral Thrawn? Is it something to do with Order 66? Because look, I'm going to play this right here for you before you answer, because it's real interesting to me. If I could find it here, I wanted to play this for you. And here, check this out. Jonathan, in light of everything I said, they didn't just show us that. So Grogu picked Mando, and we never have to worry about it again. Come on. I mean, they're setting the table for a lot of this, baby.
Yeah, my mind's all over the place right now. I'm thinking about questions you asked Victoria, and questions you've just asked in general. I kind of want to go back to the armor super quick, if you don't mind. So I thought that it was interesting that she lit the dark saber, and if you pay attention throughout the entire series, Mando had a hard time holding that thing. She just lit it, and I've seen this once, maybe twice before, and she gave it back. There was no weight issue with it, so I thought that was interesting. But with Grogu, I do find it. The theory with Luke helping Boba and Mando is interesting. I don't feel like I don't feel like Luke would say, "Oh, let me stop, with the Jedi Temple and building this to go and help them." It's kind of outside of what I think he would do. Although, even if you look at the conversation between Ahsoka and Luke, he was kind of, I don't know what I should be doing, but he's like very strong regardless. But I would like to know, one, what the heck does Grogu actually sound like when he's force talking? And two, I feel like because all we hear is, him cooing, right, as a baby. But I would love to know what his voice sounds like. But two, I feel like Grogu's got something very interesting going on in terms of just the force abilities. Like, Mace Windu, he has something where he can sort of redirect an ability or something through the dark side, and you've got Plo Koon with the I believe it's called the judgment, where he can pretty much use the force lightning. I would love to know what Grogu what he's got going on with that. I'm sorry, I just kind of went on a ramble there. Again, like, I was excited listening to you even, talk to Victoria there, but what was the original question so I can answer it?
Well, no, listen, you're going right in there, baby. Just keep going. We're just talking Star Wars and where it's going to go and how excited we are, especially how this is going to tie into the Obi-Wan series. But let me just read this real quick from 6 Scale Mafia, because it's a big one. And thank you for the $10 drop there, Anthony. We're in a golden age of Star Wars right now, especially with Hot Toys. Not sure if I could even keep up. May the 4th, baby, right around the corner. Remember to hit that like button. It costs you nothing. Well, thank you so much there, Mafia. You are the man. And listen, what you're going to do when Loco Lou comes in the cantina. Come on, baby. What? You look fantastic, man. I mean, come on.
What you gonna do when the Aries Meister is running wild on you?
Yeah, come on, buddy. What is going on?
Nice cut, man.
Thank you, appreciate it. I did it for Aries. This is for the channel. You know what I mean? Got to look, fly for the Dark Jedi. You know what I mean? You can't be a Sith Lord and not have your pimping going. You know what I mean?
Show the fade right quick. Let's see the fade on the side.
Hold on.
Ooh, man.
There you go. Come
millions and millions of hot toys. Let's go.
I know, that's what it's saying.
Please forgive me. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, listen, it is so good to have you in here. Good to have Loco Lou in the cantina. This is the first time for your brother, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brother, I've been watching for quite a while. I love the hype. I love the ooziness of the Force in these hot toys. You get what I'm saying? I could feel it on the dark side and in the light side.
Ooh.
And it just comes together like the WrestleMania, brother. It just comes together.
Oh my God. And I mean, look, I got to pull these up on the screen because Fabio, I'm going to go to you here, and then we'll get to you, Loco Lou. We were actually just talking about the excitement of what's going on with Star Wars right now, just coming off of the book of Boba Fett. Or was it the Mandalorian season 2.5? I think it was the Mandalorian season 2.5. But whatever the heck, they could call it. They could call it, Mandomania, baby, and I'm fine with it. They could call it anything that they want. Look at this, Fabio. Isn't this sweet? Isn't this nice? And going up 36% in the ratings. Is it possible that this little guy and the Mandalorian had something to do with that? And I say yes, because that's all my daughters and a lot of their friends keep talking about was Grogu was back and Mando was back. You know, the other thing interesting, Fabio, is I couldn't believe how crazy they are over the freaking the rancor monster. And I did rewatch it again, and I'm like, look, dude, they did a really good fracking job on that whole chapter 7. It was action nonstop. And then you had the Mandalorian try and ride the freaking rancor monster, and it didn't work. He kind of tossed him off. Only the Mando could do that. They had a lot of cool crap in there, dude. But listen, just having this guy pop up, having him be with 501st, having him probably tie in to the upcoming Obi-Wan series, which we're going to talk about, dude, it's like, look at the hat he's wearing.
So I feel like without Grogu, I mean, not 100%, but I feel like Grogu brings a lot of fans into the franchise. You know what I mean? Just the fact that of having this little cute, little monster, and acting like a baby. It's like, oh my God, he's so cute. So that was a great move on them for I don't even know who would have ever thought of coming up with such character. Like, I obviously am not a movie writer or anything, but I would have never in my head went, oh, let's do a Baby Yoda ever. So it's brilliant for them to come up with something like that because it'll engage not only women but younger people as well. So very, very smart in their part.
Yeah, no, I think it's very, very, very spot. And one of the very interesting things, and I brought up that clip with the 501st going back to Revenge of the Sith, and you see Mickey Mouse right here, Loco Lou, and bringing you into this topic over here. I felt like they had Grogu in the book of Boba Fett. Let's really dissect it. But it wasn't dominated by Grogu. I was really looking at Luke.
No.
I was really looking at the Mandalorian. I was really looking at, okay, is Boba Fett and Cad Bane. I mean, I thought they did it. I thought Favreau and Filoni did a great job having Grogu there, but kind of, and he was in there in chapter 7, but he was almost like he was like R2. That's a great way to put it. Or like BB-8. He really wasn't dominating the show. And you have to wonder, with this being the new Mickey Mouse, Loco Lou, is it possible that if they continue to have Grogu showcase like that, like they did in chapter 7, it's for like a lot of the casual fans, they know he was there, but for me, it was almost like he wasn't there. I think it's a good recipe.
Oh yeah, it's a great recipe. See, with what they do with that is basically give us callbacks with similar images, giving us the montages, the flip and everything like that, and the building of the temple, the whole shebang. It was just more of fan service into something that we already love, something that
Right.
is ingrained in our hearts and our souls, that when we see it, it brings us joy. And Grogu gives us that joy. Grogu is like that. Grogu is the Mandalorian. What? Let's just keep it like that. Grogu is the Mandalorian.
That's an interesting point, Loco Lou, because someone's and people have been bringing this up, and it's a very interesting theory that one of the twists that could be at the end is that Grogu is really the Mandalorian, because you got to go back to Tar Vizsla. and they're purposely telling you like I don't buy all this stuff with Luke. Oh, you could be a Jedi. You got to forsake all family and attachments. He didn't forsake Han. He didn't forsake Leia. He's not going to forsake these people. That's it's not going to happen that way. And then Ahsoka with what she's talking about. I mean the armor. Look, Tar Vizsla was both. He was a Jedi and he was a Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And the rumor, well, one of the theories, excuse me, let's put it to you that way. Maybe Grogu's the Mandalorian. Maybe Grogu and Mando are both the Mandalorian. Maybe they both rule it. Maybe they're both going to have the Jedi powers. Look, I mean, Luke is rumored to be in heavy, but they signed Mark Hamill for voiceovers. He's going to be in a lot of the Book of Boba Fett. If they have that, if they had him look the way he did in Chapter 6, I swear, dude, I had to go to the ending credits. I thought it was Sebastian Stan or an actor. It was a holy frack job the way he looked. If they could continue to have him like that, I say keep using him.
Oh yeah, definitely, because that likeness was almost like 1-to-1, almost 1-to-1. You really couldn't tell. It was just at all. And when you saw it, you just was mesmerized. It was that. It brought us back to that movie magic. A lot of the CGI stuff that we get now in film kind of take away from that movie magic that we used to see in the films. We go to the films, like, forget the world and just be immersed into what we love. And Star Wars does that for us. But seeing that deep fake and how, like, 1-to-1 it looks to his younger counterpart, it was just amazing.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely stunning to see Luke portrayed in that way. And bringing this up onto the screen here, and here's more Grogu and Mickey Mouse. They're side by side. Look, Dante, the merchandising right now, they can't keep the Grogu stuff in these parks on the shelves. Grogu is a huge part. But I love the way they did it in Chapter 7 because he was there, but he was there like R2. He was there like BB-8. He was there. He wasn't really a whole lot in there. And I feel like it's a good mechanism. And I think now when you look at the Obi-Wan series that's coming, Dante, that's the next one, May 25th. They put in 501sts. They put in Order 66, which they're going to talk about. When you talk about Jimmy Smits has been confirmed now. You got Bail Organa. You got Ewan McGregor. You got Hayden Christensen. They're all going to be going back to what happened over there. Are you telling me you're not going to get some information on who got Grogu the frack out of there? It's going to happen. And again, even though that's in a different timeline, they're going to put him in this.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the pictures here, you can tell that Disney's capitalizing on that character, right? It's a beloved character. A lot of people love it. Even my kids, my mom, for example, she doesn't know Star Wars, but she called this guy Baby Yoda. My daughter, my 3-year-old, she knows it's Grogu because I have Grogu here with me. So when she sees it on the screen, oh, that's Grogu over there. So she's already like seeing this character often. And obviously, we knew that when they did the Book of Boba Fett, they needed to put him somewhere. He needs to be there at least one episode, a couple episodes, something. Because, they cannot just ignore Grogu until the next season of The Mandalorian, right? Because it's still a few months apart. So, you've seen many items on sale now. I mean, if you're like when I go to New York, and they have Disney stores, they have a bunch of stores, you see Grogu everywhere pretty much. So obviously they're making money out of it. It's a very cute character. Even if you're not into Star Wars, you still, if you give that as a present, people still will take it and like it because it's cute. So those things, I think that we are right now seeing, like you always quoted, Aries, the new Mickey Mouse.
The new Mickey Mouse. And let's play this again. Victoria, I call that Grogu was absolutely going to be in the Book of Boba Fett, and he was in it. I am calling that he is going to be in this Obi-Wan series. I'm calling it for the flashback probably or something to that effect. But absolutely, they're going to take the opportunities while they're explaining the life of what's going on, the struggles of Hayden Christensen. I mean, not Hayden Christensen. I mean, Anakin, now Darth Vader, and probably what his relationship is like, with the Emperor. What is he? What has the last 10 years been like? From thinking that he's the one who murdered Padme. They're going to be getting into that. Everything about where Leia is right now with Bail Organa. Obviously, Obi-Wan looking after Luke on Tatooine. I absolutely believe they're going to go back, talk about Order 66, talk about who's being hunted, talk about what Jedi are out there, and no one more prevalent or strong with the Force than Grogu as a prospect. I don't see a scenario where he doesn't come up and is not part of this a little bit to start keeping it tied in.
Yeah, totally. And I think seeing the Book of Boba Fett, for some people, it was kind of unprecedented to see the level to which they were making connections with the Mandalorian. And we know that Obi-Wan is going to connect a lot to the prequels, to Revenge of the Sith and that era. But I think they're going to want to continue this Favreau-verse / Filoni-verse sort of thing that they've been doing. And we're going to see connections drawn to Mando somehow or another. It makes most sense that it would be through Grogu because we know he's here during this time period. He was at the Jedi Temple where Anakin was during that time. We know that based on all the characters that we have in Mando, the Book of Boba Fett, that Grogu makes the most sense to be tied in there somehow. And I agree with you, mentioning Bail Organa and some of these other characters that we've seen in other recent media, like Rogue One. I think there's going to be some more tie-ins, and I'm really excited to see how they choose to do that. I think Grogu is a very safe bet. I'm really excited to see how they weave him in there and get more of that story as to how he was rescued, how he got out of there, and I think we're going to get it in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and Boston Collectors, I'm real interested to find out because Single Songwriter actually was the first one I saw that brought this up, and welcome Single Songwriter in the house. Always a great supporter to all the channel creators here in the community. That there's a person in the side of his eyes, so something else there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real curious who got Grogu out of there, Boston Collectors. Have you thought about this?
I've heard theories, but I'm going to stick to, I think I heard it from you actually. Was that you that said you felt that he was in R2-D2?
No, that wasn't me, but I like that theory too.
I've heard a theory that because of the way that the troopers first off, the one trooper sort of overkilled the one Jedi with the extra shots in the back, but whatever. I think with the way that the troopers were coming up the hallway, it looked like they couldn't see Grogu. So it's kind of like, well, what do you do as a trooper? Like, if you think about Clone Wars, you just kind of move through the droids, right? So I do feel like he was kind of stashed away in, well, maybe not R2-D2. R2-D2 was with Anakin, right, on Mustafar when he told him to stay on the ship, I believe. So he could have been stashed in another droid unit that was trusted, but that's kind of where I'm at with it.
He still could have been in the R2, Jonathan, especially if it goes this way. I am convinced it's Mace Windu. But here's what I'm not convinced about. I'm not convinced that Mace and Anakin, because they had so much animosity towards each other, if Anakin knew who the favorite son was, for lack of a better phrase, meaning that Mace, I don't really felt that Anakin was a chosen one. I think he was pretty, he may have felt that Grogu was the one. And Anakin may have known in stuff we don't know that that's his favorite son. Maybe they were both going for Grogu, because here's the thing we have to remember: he's no particular fan of the Emperor. He didn't want him to die in the hands of Mace because he needs him. As soon as he could find another apprentice or somebody to rule the galaxy with, he'll kill the Emperor himself.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder if he's like, I could take Grogu, because everyone could see that he can be moved a little bit to the dark side, perhaps, And he figures with his influence, he can maybe have another apprentice.
That's true. And I also feel like, even, with that theory too, obviously we all know, especially if you read the comics and again, you watch Clone Wars, Mace always had like this weird issue with Anakin. Mace also has like this air about himself. Maybe he thought, I'm the chosen one, but even if he didn't think that he was, it's like, well, you also have Grogu, and you always go back to the statement, right? Prophecy misread could have been, and it could be Grogu. He could be the real chosen one. Yeah.
Fabio, it's real interesting because I feel like Favreau and Filoni have had the conversations that we're all having here. And you have to wonder which way they're going to go. And I'm sure it's going to be a doozy.
Yeah, like I've always said, I feel like, they're building up to something big, and we're going to get the craziest twist. We're not even going to know where it came from. And I think that's where they're going with this. It's going to be such a crazy twist that everybody's going to be blown away.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And going back to Loco Lou, and I think no matter what the twist is, and go ahead and speak on that, Loco Lou, regardless of the twist, obviously, Grogu's in the center. Mickey Mouse is in the center of it.
So let's keep Grogu in the center. We've seen him manhandle a bunch of troopers before. What's to say he hasn't done it before?
You're right. He was in yeah.
He's aggressive. He's not a helpless child. He is, if we're going with the speculation, the chosen one, he has the force focus in order to do what he does, what we've seen him do from season 1 and season 2, and in Book of Boba. Excuse me. See, it happens.
It does.
Book of Boba Fett, where he actually puts the Rancor to sleep. So if he could do that to the Rancor, and notice it's always a level up. He does it with the Mudhorn. This time he does it with the Rancor. He has strong force abilities. Who's to say that he didn't stop all the blasters and then repelled them back to the troopers, and then just escaped in the pram? And that's just putting more of a silhouette, more of a halo on our lovable Grogu.
I think the thing is that they're making Grogu look, obviously, looks like a baby, so they're making him seem like he's helpless, but we don't really know the depth of his powers, and I think that's where we get confused.
And I think
he's 50 years old. He's 50 years old.
Yeah, and I think with that too, Loco, and that's a really good point, because we see, and Doc Smizzle said this in the chat, he probably force choked or whatever and killed them all and took a nap in the hallway. But I think, he disconnected himself from the force, right? And I think because of that, we don't know like the length of time exactly. Maybe like, it's tiring to use the force, but like Loco Lou said, he's been training for who knows how long at the Jedi Temple, and he was almost reaching his peak, and killing them fools in the hallways like nothing to him. Versus when you disconnect yourself from the force, it's probably a bit more tiring.
Yeah, and Victoria, they're bringing up real interesting points, because they're making me think back to Mandalorian season 1, where Grogu almost force choked Gina Carano.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Cara Dune right at the table there,
Yeah,
because he was ticked off. Don't mess with Mando. It's interesting, Victoria, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally is. I mean, he has shown those little instances where there's that little bit of dark side energy within him. We see him as this cute little cuddly, like, baby Yoda. And but maybe there's more layers there. Maybe he's a little more complicated than what's on the surface. He's not just a cute little guy that likes to go around eating space macaroons. There's more there. Yeah, I hope that they give us a little bit more of that. And he does get pretty tired, as you're talking about, when he's really using the force, right? And I think if you consider anything that you do, really anytime you give something more effort, more exertion, you're going to be more tired afterwards. So maybe that just speaks to his propensity for using the force. He's really tapped into it, and he has this really strong ability to use it. And when he chooses to do that, it just wipes him out, because he's so talented and able to do that. So I hope we get some answers. He's obviously, you think about Yoda, he's super powerful, right? One of the greatest, most powerful Jedi.
Yep.
Is Grogu on that same level in terms of his potential? We know Yoda has high midichlorian counts, second only to Anakin, I believe, is what it said in the Phantom Menace. So it'll be interesting if they give us a little bit more on Grogu's background. How strong is he in the Force? What is his capacity for the dark? And is there something that pushed him to start using the dark side, to start Force choking people, which is clearly a dark side trait? I hope we get to learn more about Grogu.
Yeah, no, it's real interesting. And Dante, going off all these statements, the ones from Victoria, and as everyone was saying, and here Loco Lou, Boston Collectors, FabsFigures. I don't really feel, and that's another thing that I've been talking about. I feel I'm very much feel that the rumors about Luke working with Mando to help him with the dark saber, getting some help. There's even some rumors that Mandalorian might have some force sensitivity that Luke is going to uncover. At the end of the day, I find it's going to be an interesting choice, or what ultimately happens with Grogu when it comes to Luke, Ahsoka, and Mando, because he's way too strong in the force choking Cara Dune in season 1, tossing the troopers around and getting the eyes open and being taunted by Moff Gideon. He's way too strong in the force to not be trained by Luke at some level to be able to keep it in check, right?
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, and also Boston mentioned, and Loco Lou and Victoria, he's been trained for many many years, Grogu, right? And maybe the reason why, as you guys were explaining, is that he disconnected himself from the Force is because maybe he did something. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he did something, and to his principles, he decided to disconnect himself, and maybe that triggered the forgetting and the memory loss, whatever you want to call it. So it is interesting, particular character, because there's not too many things that was said about him, but at the same time we feel like we know a lot, but at the same time we don't know anything. It's kind of like everything is plain. I mean, the guy doesn't talk, so we never heard his voice. It's just kind of like his little cute sounds that he makes. But I think I think they need to explore more this character in the next season. I still have a feeling that we're gonna have a twist. Something is gonna be an eye opener, and you're gonna be like, damn. Right now,
I agree.
another theory that I have, and this is just me, is, and I think Aris, we spoke about this many shows before as well, is like how this particular race grow. Like, do they grow gradually like humans, or it happened to be that every 50 years they develop some certain growth, and then they wait another 50 years to do another one, and so on.
Yeah, you
Is
have
it
to, like, it's
possible?
like puberty or something like that.
Exactly.
They obviously don't go exactly the way humans do. So you can't just equate human anatomy to and progression the same way
Right.
as Grogu, and you can't just deduce it by average. Oh, okay, the lifespan is 900, so do the same math. It can't work that way, because
Exactly.
maybe for instance, using the reaching puberty example, maybe he's going to, over the next few years, or at 50 years old, maybe 50 to 55 it's a huge growth spurt. I mean, it could just be that way.
Right, right. And
So
and
who
look,
knows?
somebody made a comment very interesting. It says Yoda was training Jeddah at age of 50, age 100,
Mm,
and Grogu was 50, and seems to be that he was trained before. So, if you do the math, I mean, how long does it take to become a Jedi Master? Does it take 50 years? Obviously not. It doesn't take that many years. So, there's things there that we don't know, right? And maybe at
mm,
one point he's gonna develop, but he's gonna be a teenager, for example, right?
mm.
Where he can talk, where he can communicate better. Maybe he is the one training at one point Din Djarin. Who knows? So there's so many things that we don't know yet. Hopefully we will get the answers, and obviously they can expand a lot of this, because there's a lot of things that they can do.
Yeah, and reading this super chat from Chewy, 6 scale bandolier with the 6.99 drop. Thank you so much here at the Market Show Live. And don't forget to smash that like button. Come on, baby. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to 6 Scale Cantina here and to everyone's channel in here that we got tonight. We have got Fabio from FabsFigures. We have got Jonathan from Boston Collectors. We've got Victoria from Victoria's Cantina. Dante, the Man of Hot Collectibles. And we've got Loco Lou from Loco Lou. And is it possible that all 5 of their channels, the links are within the video description below? And I say yes. But what do I say about the super chat? Does Aries love to bring a Bail Organa just for smits and giggles? And you say yes. Well, listen, baby. You really have to wonder. Now, Victoria, I want to go to you with kind of the next segment here that I want to get into. And what do you think about
This is the Hot Toys Wizard. I have assumed control of 6 Scale Mafia. Direct intervention was necessary. My 2022 predictions are as follows. Over 25 Star Wars pre-orders available. We will receive another 25 announcements this year. You are watching 6 Scale Cantina. I am releasing this for this exchange is over.
Whoa, man, I'm kind of Victoria. I got a little bit. I'm like, I've got chills. Man, he took over the mafia. That's for the second time. I don't know, guys. I'm kind of like
fire.
That was definitely a Russian hack.
That's scary.
Oh my goodness gracious! From Anthony at 6 Scale Mafia. Are you kidding me, Fabio? How do you think he's feeling after that? I mean, that's a
yeah. No, that was 100%. That was a hacker. That was an Anthony. Anthony's safe right now. He's in bed right now.
He's in bed. Okay, well, we're gonna have to see what Anthony actually says on his show later tonight. He will have a show later tonight. Make sure you check him out to see how he's feeling. But what perfect timing! Oh my goodness gracious! So this is the favorite part of what I want to get into: May 4th possibilities and whatnot. But because we were talking about some things with Grogu, before I get into the list, I'm gonna bring up something that's not on the list, but I'm very interested in. And I'm gonna bring this with you, Victoria, first, before we get into some of the is it possible of what could happen this year for 2022 for Star Wars Hot Toys as we're spilling all this coffee and talking all the Star Wars goodness. I'm gonna bring this up on the screen. And right now, you can go ahead and, get this premium format figure for $590, Cara Dune, from Sideshow. I don't know. Is there? I understand all of the crazy controversy and all of the politics involved with this. One of the things, though, Victoria, about this, and I want to talk about it. I can't complete the finale. I can't complete my Mandalorian collection from season 1 and 2 without this figure for Hot Toys, for my Hot Toys collection. I guess I could with this. I guess I could with something else. Do you ever see a possibility that we can just get this for the sake of it was a character within the Mandalorian and we need it in the collection? Or is there too much politics for them to do this?
I don't think it's going to happen. Is it possible? Sure. I really don't see them doing it. Almost the minute that this whole thing happened, January of 2021, they pulled the plug on anything that wasn't currently anything that was in the works that hadn't been officially announced. Hasbro, for example, they had already put out their vintage collection figure. They put out their Black Series figure. They were in the process of doing subsequent runs on those figures because they hadn't met demand. And they stopped short of what the original, of what the subsequent production was going to be. They ended up putting it, stopping it, and whatever they had made up until this point, they did honor pre-orders. But Some of those outstanding pre-orders did get canceled on some of those figures. And then prices on those figures just shot up on the secondary market. I think this was announced before all that, so I this seems like a safe bet. We're still going to get this. It's obviously still on their site after all this time. New stuff though, it'd be nice to have the Hot Toys figure, just because you're saying, you know, there's that gap in the collection if you don't have it. I just don't see them doing it.
Loco, let's go to you. There's an old phrase or expression: "Time heals all wounds." Is that possible at all for this going to happen? Obviously, there's a lot of rumors. Who knows if there's, you know, they're true or false, with Favreau or Filoni talking to Gina Carano or something like that. We've seen this, you know, talking about WWE. I am going to bring it up as an example. We've seen situations that are similar, where they're, you know, exiled for a couple of years or a few years, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden, all is good, and that they're back. Do you see a scenario ever with Gina Carano with this? Does time heal our wounds, or we're never going to get the hot toy, baby? Come on.
I felt the force from the Hot Toys Wizard, and I say yes. I believe if we see Gina come back in a future series, just a reprisal role, quick cameo, or even in a final battle where she's there, you know, giving a hand for, you know, her comrades, that will probably be the time where they're like, okay, this is from this, you know, variation of Cara Dune. This is her from this episode. She may have different armor or something like that. She may not look exactly how she did in Mandalorian, but this is this variation. And Hot Toys is known to do that. They don't complete lines. We're still missing a few other people to complete series. You know, the Bespin stuff. You know, I mean, the Hoff stuff. There's still things that are incomplete with Star Wars as far as OT is concerned, and even sequel trilogy, so on and so forth. But as far as her getting made, it's a possibility. It is a possibility. I don't think it's off the table just yet. Because here's the thing, you have your integrity, enough butt kissing, and enough money will change anybody's mind, especially in times like these.
You know, you bring up a good point. Fabio, I'm going to go to you. That is true. I wasn't even thinking about butt kissing and money. But, you know, this is an old hand expression about money. Money does talk, and time does heal wounds for some. We've seen it happen a lot in wrestling. I don't know. I mean, even if it's, I don't know. It's, what do you think? Go.
Wait, if she's going to be on the show, you mean?
No, if they're ever going to give us a figure, if there's ever a
way
to give us a figure.
They can't because number one, after she left, she's suing them. So there's, you know, you can't get near any of that, you know. So I don't think so.
Jonathan, let's go to you. I didn't hear about her suing them, but who knows? I mean, all of these rumors all the time that Filoni, they're still trying to get her back in. Any hope or no hope?
No hope. I know that there's always, you know, anything is possible, but they're not touching it. I'm with Victoria. I'm with Fabs on this one. I didn't hear about the suing, but you know, the controversy around Gina Carano and, you know, what took place. They're not touching it. They're not touching it. And originally, you know, before all of the controversy, I love the character. I like what the fact that she could stand toe to toe with Mando and look like she could whoop his ass. Come on. I wanted a figure the second that happened. But then once all of the, you know, the rest of it transpired, no, they're not touching it. And Disney won't let Hot Toys. Like Victoria said, this was probably, you know, announced, and they already started working on this, you know, prior to those issues. But this is it. This is it.
Well, before we get into all the coffee spilling stuff, Dante, you've heard all these comments here. I had to bring it up. Grogu almost force choked the character. Get the final word. Are we ever going to see a Hot Toy Cara Dune?
No. I don't know. I don't. You know, I was reading while you guys were talking. I was reading something that there's actually it could be a turn on events actually. Apparently one of the companies that again, don't quote me on this one. Apparently one of the companies that has some involvement in Caesars Entertainment, and I think Disney's looking to buy them or something like that. And she is somehow involved with that company. So there is a possibility that they are in talks for her to return for season 4. Whether that's going to be, I mean, again, this is just a website. I don't know if it's true or not, but whether she's going to be, whether she's going to return or not, man, I don't, it all depends on so many factors. Money talks, and until right now, I will say no because there's nothing official. Obviously, once if she is signed back to the show, I think it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna see a figure of her. I mean, it will be just a matter of time. But right now, because she's out, I will say no.
And welcome everybody who's in here to the Market Show live on a Saturday evening. We are spilling coffee with possibilities. Fabio, I'm going to go with you on the first one. Listen, one of the things that I want to bring up, and we have a brand new section. And actually, I will go ahead and pull this up onto the screen at 6scalecantina.com. If you don't have 6scalecantina.com bookmarked, you may want to consider doing so. It has all your latest information on the latest 1/6 scale Star Wars Hot Toys action figures, everything that's going on the channel, what's going on, the biggest movers within the market chart. You could just see the first release by Hot Toys to reach over the $1,000 tier range. Within the secondary market, Han and Chewbacca, A New Hope. We'll be talking more about that on Monday on Live and Raw. But going down over here, right now you can see right here for a total, there are three pre-orders for 1/6 scale Star Wars Hot Toys in 2023. There are 26 pre-orders already for Marvel in 2023. Wow, what a differential. And I brought this up before, and we talked about it, Fabio, quite a bit on Wednesday with the whole crew. And that's going to set the table for some of these figures coming out over here. On some, I don't think all hope is lost on original trilogy and prequel figures. Sure, the Mandalorian and all this stuff here is going to completely outweigh it by a large margin. 90% or more, maybe even more than that. But there are a lot of pre-orders that we got to fill up over here. And Star Wars hasn't even begun. But I'm going to bring my first one up onto the screen for you to talk about here. And this is very interesting to me because I'm bringing up Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia from The Empire Strikes Back. And we've already had 3 iterations of this head sculpt. The Leia Hoth and the Leia Bespin, and of course the Leia Endor. And you have to wonder, is it possible whether we get Leia with this Bespin escape, which would be a complete kit bash and an easy make for, we could take the Hoth Leia and basically put in the Bespin Leia head sculpt, or a Leia Bosch disguise from Return of the Jedi. Do you see them using this head sculpt again for either or of these figures? And is it possible that this could be an announcement that we're not considering, and they've already had 3 with this head sculpt already? What say you?
No, I don't think. I mean, I feel like Hot Toys now, from what we've been seeing from them, I don't think they're doing, so many reissues, exactly. So I feel like if they're gonna do something with a Leia figure, it's not gonna be reusing anything. They'll give us a new head, they'll give us a new everything new, because it'll justify them raising the price on the figure. So you're not gonna get, if you for example, if Hot Toys for example reuses a head sculpt, then everybody's going to realize, we already got this. Why is this figure so expensive? But by just tweaking something on the head sculpt and giving us a few new accessories, they could charge us whatever they want. And it's a new figure. So what are we going to do? It's either you buy it or you don't.
Absolutely. So actually, you don't actually think they're going to come out with another Leia with this?
I don't think so.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Jonathan, let's go to you. What say you on this?
Oh, force choke, my man.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
it again, it's a possibility. I don't force choke me, but I do think, from the Mandoverse on up, I think they're putting all of their chips on Boba, Mando, Obi-Wan, and that's like what Leia would be, what, maybe a toddler at this point. It's a possibility, considering what I was just watching your if you all are a Cantina insider, we do live shows back there too.
Thank you for
You were
that plug, my
just
man.
yeah, I like the shows and all that. I might not be there all the time, but it's some good shows back there. It's a possibility they could do an announcement if they release the snow. Was that the snow speeder, Luke, you were talking about?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
If they do it, but I don't think they will.
Very, very interesting. Victoria, let's go to you. I will tell you that all of the Leias that they've come out with this head sculpt have sold out. So they see that every time they put one out, they sell out. And in my view with this, it's like they're going to keep putting out Stormtrooper reiterations until people stop buying them. And you have to wonder, with these figures going through the roof right now within the secondary market, is it possible that we can get a Leia from the original trilogy? Another one. You got the anniversary of, Return of the Jedi going to be coming out soon. I don't necessarily believe we're done with the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary figures. I really can see something like this. This would not shock me at all if we get another Leia, because they just keep selling.
Yeah, I think we'll get this eventually. It not be, for a little bit, but this is an easy one, right? If it's easy enough for them to do, they're probably going to find a way to do it, whether it's an exclusive. I think somehow to work. Now, I agree with what Fabio was saying. It'd be nice if it's not the same head sculpt. I bought all the Leias since the New Hope Leia, and it'd be nice to mix it up a little bit more than the last 3 Leias. I do hope that at the very least it would have a more expressive sculpt, or just a different, maybe at least looking in a different direction or something. So I do hope that they do that. I think this will happen at some point. I think it's just it's kind of a no-brainer. It's easy for them to do, and I think we'll see it at some point.
Yeah, no, it is a great point that Fabio brought up there, Dante. I mean, there comes a point, but I think with enough paint and enough difference with the head sculpt, I think one of the ways we answer is we don't buy. Then if they do put it out and no one buys it, then they're probably done with it. But I actually could see this, or I could see something again for Return of the Jedi, with that bounty hunter outfit that she had on when she's rescuing Han. I don't think we're done with the Leias, and I actually don't think they would invest in a new head sculpt. I think they would use this one and repaint it and change the hair. What say you?
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we're gonna see this version, but I can see the version that you just mentioned when he go rescues Han with that bounty hunter outfit. I think that one is more possible than this one. Another R2D2, I think for sure, and I think we probably hopefully see Tripio. I think that will be fun to see. Now, I just have, I mean, maybe it's out of, this question is not the right place, but do you think, I mean, I don't know how possible this is, but do you think that for the Toy Fair exclusive, right, we can get a C-3PO? Just a C-3PO to be out like within a few weeks, for example.
And
it's a tough
I
one, I know.
say, yes, I think it's possible.
Right, and I think
100%.
that will be a good call if they do that. I mean, if people were waiting for so long and then say, you know what, this is going to be an exclusive, and then boom, you have EC3PO.
How much would they make on that C-3PO Loco Lou? Because I think that people have been waiting a long time. That would be bad. I mean, I think a lot of people would buy that.
Multiples.
Oh yeah, everybody's been raving about a Hot Toys version of CP3O, and to get him with diecast parts, obviously, I believe it was the Tamashii Nations version, which was a full diecast one, is going for buku bucks.
Yeah, I used to have that one though. I
That
regret selling it.
yeah,
Oh, what'd you sell it for?
but
I was selling for a lot of money. It was before I bought my home, like a few years ago.
Wow.
priorities,
Yeah.
baby.
He was homeless, so
But
that's why.
You had to buy those cigars.
I, I could see them making this and actually knocking it out of the park. You know, give us the LED features for the, head sculpt, some die-cast parts, not completely die-cast, kind of what they did with whatchamacallit, just slipping my head,
The IG.
Forgive
You talking
talking
about
like
Thor?
IG-11 and
Oh.
K2SO is who I had in my head right now,
Mhm.
because he's a hefty boy. And
Well, Loco
yeah,
Lou, Fabio and
this
I
could
were talking about this back on the Aries Tarrington show. I mean, I don't know what you'd be willing to spend, but I would, if they made this like all die cast, like or they did it like an Iron Man, I would pay $375 for
oh,
this all day. $395, come on. I would think.
if they did this die cast and they give us the lighter feature on top of that, I could see Iron Man prices here. I could see the new Iron Man prices, not the old Iron Man prices, the new Iron Man prices, because inflation and tax and all that other stuff,
Mhm.
put into it. For OT collectors and people who are into it and love it, like majority of us do, it's an automatic buy. You're not going to say no, because a lot of people are feeling regret with the R2D2 and missed out on the R2D2 from Hot Toys. So, if you're going to get anything, you want this. This is the one that's, how can I say, this is the one that gets away every single time. Every single time. So,
Fabio, let's get back to you. Hopefully, you've recovered there from Vader. Listen, baby, I know we talked about this right already on Wednesday, but look, Man of Hot brought this up. Loco Lou, we're talking about it, and I think we talked. I mean, you already know. I mean, I'd pay $500 for it, because the Tamashii Nations one is like $900 to try and pick it up, and it's going insane. Yeah, I could see what Dante was saying. I could see this as an exclusive, but I honestly could see this as just a regular release. Honestly, I just think we need it. I think the carrot's been dangled so long that this would probably, and I think we talked about this, that you wouldn't think C3PO would break the internet, but I think for Hot Toys, this would break the internet.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if it's diecast, forget it. And it doesn't matter whether it's an exclusive release or a regular release. No matter what, it's going to sell regardless, and it's going to go. Hot Toys is making enough figures, to last 2 years. So the thing is, are they giving us the figures that we really want? You know what I mean? Like something like this should have been out a long time ago, and then at this point we should have waited. We should have been on reissue number 2. You know what I mean? But we haven't even gotten one. So there's
That's a
something.
good point. It should be on reissue number 2. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something deeper, going on with this figure than we are even, thinking about. But is it going to come at some point? It has to. Why hasn't it? No idea.
Victoria, you know a lot about a lot of collecting. We have multiple C3POs with Black Series and so many other companies. We don't got one. Not one with Hot Toys, but we have had 2 prototypes, and you have to wonder, is it possible that now that Star Wars is back to being hot, back to being the $2 billion plus movie blockbuster franchise that it is, because everybody is happy with it again, and all these shows, are they going to feel comfortable now putting this out?
I think so. I mean, just wondering why it hasn't happened yet. There's got to be something in terms of like how you go about doing it. Now, I know for years, Hasbro has, when they put out a C3PO, they were always vac metallized, which is a sort of plasticized metallic component that they use in the molding process, and then painted with an outer layer. And that has been deemed over time to not be environmentally friendly. So they've kind of stepped back from doing that for a long time now. And anytime they do a 3PO figure, it's more of like a painted on sort of thing. Doesn't look as fancy, but that's usually the aesthetic they go for now. It could be something like that where Hot Toys is just trying to figure out what is the best material to do it. Maybe they do die cast. Die cast would be ideal. I think, a lot of people would love to see that. It'd look fantastic. It would never it would always be shiny and nice. It would never, look dull. So it could just be like figuring out what's the right move and, how do you get the best aesthetic, which isn't an easy thing. You got to go back and to the drawing board multiple times until you find that right thing. And then, for the right price to manufacture it at. You can't put out $1,000 C3PO because nobody's going to buy it. We would, but a lot of people would not. They got to be profitable. So I think that's kind of what it's going to be at this point. That's, if I had to guess, that's probably why they haven't done it yet. I think we will get it eventually. And I think when it does, like you say, Aries, they will break the internet.
Absolutely. Jonathan, we're going to get to the next one, but I'm going to give you the final word. What do you think on C3PO? Go, baby.
I do think that we'll get C3PO. I think it will be a while though. So to hold you over, you should probably like pick up Midas or something to have a bootleg, C3PO, the Midas Iron Man. Mm-hmm. But until then, I mean, I think, we see that they're able to do the sort of gold paint, right? I think it was just Midas and Wonder Woman, I believe. So we know that they can do it, the chrome look. Mm-hmm. And if they do make C3PO, I think they should be a little bit lenient and give us a couple extra parts. I thought what Loco Lou was going to touch on was, when he was trying to think about the figures that slipped his mind. I thought he was talking about Thor, because Thor, I think it's Infinity War Thor, he's got the swap out arms. So being able to sort of slide off, I think he had the red arm, or it was like a rusted leg or something. Yeah. See, now,
like that.
What'd you say? You cut out.
No, it was one or the other. It was one of his appendages that was red.
Yeah. Okay, I thought it was a leg too, but that would be cool to have. Like kind of make it worth the wait. You know what I mean? Obviously, having C3PO will be worth the wait, but die cast it up, paint job, and all that, I think we'll be all right.
Right. Just one quick point. That the Machinations one, actually, you can remove everything. You can remove the legs, the arms.
Oh, that's cool.
And this fully die cast. So, if Hot Toys does it, they should do it like that. Plus, whatever you mentioned, the additional parts, right? Like maybe the red arm, the silver
the
leg.
Iron Man price of today. But
I
think we'd all buy
the 400s. It will be definitely the 400s. Sure. But I mean, that's a masterpiece right there.
Yeah.
Is there's, I mean, if they did
give us a Babu Frick, right, Dante?
Yeah, I mean, if they did R2D2.
Wait a minute here.
She flexing.
Oh, what is that? Black Series?
This is the Tamashii Nation ones that Dante is talking about here.
Man, that is just so
that's
sick.
Nice.
That is absolutely so sick.
Is that leg silver?
Yes.
No, but that one is the smaller version.
This
is 1/6 scale Tamashii.
Yeah, this is the 12 scale one right here, 6-inch. But it is also die cast.
Sick.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's fire.
Yeah,
and you can remove the arms too, right?
The arms are not removable. The face plate is that you can put on the. This is the New Hope one with the little dent on it, but you can remove the face plate.
Cool.
Right. Speaking of C3PO, I would actually pick up the one from Phantom Menace where he's all naked. I want that one.
I love that one, but we need the freaking original one first, unless they wanted Jonathan to give us a DX. And then they were going to have that with that, but that would be so darn pricey.
That'd be nice. I get that.
It'd be worth it though if it was a DX and they gave us a CP3O that you can assemble whichever iteration that you want.
Oh, dude, come on, make me spill my coffee. Loco Lou, come on.
But this is spill your coffee, drink your spatchka, and let it spill on the next person. Let's go, baby. Because imagine if they could give us the parts that you could assemble on the figure, but these are the same parts that could snap on and become the backpack for Chewie.
Yep. That'd be fire.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Loco Lou, look, I gotta get in. Okay. That would be one of the most epic releases. And Fabio, we talked about that with Easy Company back on Wednesday and Riley's reviews. that would be an epic May 4th release. Because listen, Loco Lou, let's stay with you. They blew it last year, and Sideshow hit it out of the park with that Grievous, and no one was even paying attention to that freaking Echo, which was awesome. But it's kind of like this. I brought up this point, Loco Lou. When it comes to May 4th, it's kind of like if your favorite football team wins and are doing really, really well. You're like, oh, I'll watch all these other games, the rest. You're kind of really excited to see the other teams play. Or if your team is doing really good in the playoffs, you're kind of looking at it. And then it's kind of like, when your team gets blown out or you're really heartbroken, you're kind of like, I may pass on that. I may not watch that. It's still too real to me. I need a couple of days. And I felt like that's what happened with May 4th last year, because everybody wanted a legacy character, and freaking Sideshow comes out with Grievous, which turned out to be a disaster. And there was hardly no attention on Echo. But if they would have came out with a C-3PO, if they would have came out with something like that, everyone would have been like, oh, that Echo is so freaking amazing. Oh, my goodness. And you could come out with Frog Lady, and everybody be like, oh, did you see Frog Lady? She's awesome. But you got to kind of give us some of those wins. What do you think about that? Because I want to stay with you on that. I feel like with May 4th this year, they've learned their lesson with that. Boy, and I tell you, it would be come around full circle if it was a Grievous that they came out with on May 4th. I'd spill my coffee, baby.
Oh,
But
yeah.
go ahead, go.
I would say this, that they did drop the ball last year, and will they learn? We don't know. We have to wait and see. This is what we're waiting for. We're anticipating it. And with the other releases from the other lines, which here we're talking Star Wars, but the other lines show that they're basically playing footsies with certain things that, they should just leave alone and just focus on things that really matter. Because if you look at the Star Wars line, we get bombarded. They sit for a little bit, but then there's these hot ones, these quick hot ones, like Heavy Mando, Cody, like they go on. You got these little itty bitty pieces that add to your Star Wars collection, but they're crucial. Look at Yoda. Yoda right now is pushing 400,
and that's a reissue that you talk about Attack of the Clones one.
Exactly. So here they got to give us something. Like I see them going into OT, but I could also see them pulling a fast one, kind of like what they did last year with the Armorer, and maybe give us a Cad Bane.
Oh, baby. Yeah. Dude, that would be freaking awesome. Fabio, let's go to you, because there can be something you were talking about, you and Dante, or everybody in here. They could surprise us in the Mandalorian season 3. It could go a direction we don't know. There can be a release we don't know. I'm feeling something in my gut, something we're not thinking. I'm going to pull this up on the screen, and I want to ask her, because I think we both know, you and I, how well this figure would sell. Do we have to release? Do we have to wait for the video game release? Now, listen, I don't know much about the video games. I've kind of been out of it for some months on all these video game stuff. So I don't know when this is set to release. But it's Darth Revan. They already teased it on the freaking preview. It's going to be Darth Revan. Do we absolutely have to wait for that video game? Or can they just be like, look, could it be something like him? Something like or a Darth Malgus, or a Darth Nihilus, or something we're not thinking of. It doesn't have to be exclusive to this. That we would be like, holy crap, I didn't think they'd come out with that, but I'm going to buy it because we have to fill it a pre-order. What do you think?
Well, if this is from the video game, you have to wait for the video game to come out. Because let's say, for example, if you're not a gamer and you don't know that the game's even coming out, and you see this tease, you're just going to be like, oh my God, but you're not going to know it's from the game, So I feel like stuff like that, if it comes from a game, you have to wait for the game. But if they make something like this is incredible. We've talked about this before. I have the Sideshow Malchus, and that figure to this day, is perfect. You know what I mean? They can't.
Yeah.
There was an exclusive with 2 head sculpts. The figure is beautiful. It's big. again, for Sideshow back then was completely different than what they are now. But something like this, everybody would want something like this, because look at it. It's completely, it looks like a Mandalorian with, with like, different, obviously a mask, but it's a beautiful, beautiful figure. So absolutely, if this came out, it would sell very, very well, because it's not, your standard stuff. It's something completely different as well,
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. Jonathan, let's go to you, because I feel in my gut, because like what I showed at 6scalecantina.com, and it's a great point. Wait for the video game on this, but something like the Black Series cashes in on these Darth Nihilus, or this Darth Malgus, and Darth this one or this or that. I feel like Hot Toys is going to bring something expanded universe, something video game, something like this that we're not expecting. That's not exactly tied to the shows yet, and maybe just that where you see Hasbro cashing in. Because to Fabio's point, Star Wars is so hot right now. I mean, if you put something like this out, this doesn't sit on the bottom, baby, like the Blurg is right now, or where the Jet Troopers are. This is up high. Go.
So I do think that it's possible that Hot Toys could do something like this, right? And we've seen Darth Revan, from the MMO, but I also thought that Hot Toys would do a VGM line from the Jedi Fallen Order. I would like to think that they're going to do this, especially since, again, we know so much about Revan, and I believe XM Studios put out a statue for Revan, but that doesn't really mean that Hot Toys will, follow suit. I would like to think they would, and I would definitely pick it up, even if it's this Mando style armor here, but it would still be cool.
Yeah, Victoria, let's go to you, because I think they've already, and it's maybe more now. But Black Series, they cash in on these Darth Revans and these Darth Revan exclusive, or Darth Malgus, or Darth Nihilus, or this or that. Can you imagine Hot Toys doing one of these cool off-kilter characters, and how well that would do? We always talk about like Darkseid Rey having someone, a Sith like that in your collection. Man, I think this would be cool. And you have to wonder, Victoria, could we get some weird announcement we're not thinking of out of left field like this for the May 4th week?
Yeah, no, they do. Hasbro does have their Gaming Greats Black Series segment. They have a Vintage Collection Gaming Greats Black Series segment where they focus on games. And, you look at things like what Hot Toys is doing with DC. They do some of the Arkham figures, which are video game figures. It just makes sense that at some point they will get around to video game figures. I think Revan is if you're making a list of video game figures for Hot Toys to do, Revan would probably be near the top of the list. I think we'll see him at some point. It may not be quite yet, but I think that at some point that they're going to tap into that market. There's a lot of potential there, right? A lot of people love the games. You have characters like Cal Kestis. You have other characters like Darth Malik. You have so many other things they could do. Shea Vizsla. You could really get into it if you wanted to do. If they wanted to do video games, and I think that we'll see it at some point.
Yeah, Dante, go ahead. Get the final word on this one before we go to the next one. Can you see any of those? Could you see Cal Kestis? Could you see one of these releases that is like, whoa? And I think that for me to see this, it's not only because there's only 3 pre-orders in 2023, and I think that we're going to have very announcement heavy 2022 for Star Wars Hot Toys. But I don't think it's all going to be just from the shows. I don't think it's just going to be Mandalorian, just Book of Boba Fett. I think they're at the point now, like Marvel. You've got like Venomized this, Venomized Groot, Venomized Iron Man, Venomized all this stuff. You got this or that. I feel like Star Wars, now that we're out of the dark times, now that we're out of the craziness of The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker controversy, right now, it's kind of like we're living Infinity War and Endgame with Star Wars right now. We're just getting started. I feel like they could capitalize on more figures like this, like a vintage color Boba Fett, just figures like that like, oh, I didn't think that was coming out, but they'll sell. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen many video game characters from Star Wars. I think we had a couple. If memory doesn't play me tricks, so I think it is very possible, but I think Hot Toys is gonna probably concentrate more on the existing lines or existing shows that we have. Remember the Obi-Wan is coming in May, so they're probably gonna have a bunch of figures coming from that show alone. We still haven't seen enough from the Book of Boba Fett, so I think we still have few more coming. Announcements. So I think we're gonna. I think before they go full mode with a video game, they're gonna do those shows first. Not to say that if they want to do like a random one, like let's say the one that you just had on the screen, it is very possible. It is very possible.
Well, Dante, we're going to stay with you. But before we do, let me know what table you're at here at 6 Scale Cantina with a market show live, baby. Are you kidding me? Because Grogu needs his refill. Is he at table 5 with Popsic? Did he hop over with 808 Michigan Jedi at table 88? Dante, May 4th. Is it possible? This is going to be 21 days away from this series. And there's been rumors or thoughts, maybe it's thoughts that he could be in this outfit in the new Obi-Wan series in a flashback or something like that. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And I think until we see Clone Wars figures not sell, which they're selling like hotcakes for Star Wars, this is 1000% coming for sure. Could this be a May 4th banger for that week? What say you?
I think it is possible. It is possible. Especially, I think it all depends on the Obi-Wan. I'm sorry, on the Anakin. If that figure is released, I think if that's released, then this one is probably going to be announced. Just gonna to go back to back, or it is possible that we may see this one again, not May 4th, but maybe before. Maybe, I don't know, the Topher exclusive, for example. Maybe they can do that so they can have this figure, before the Obi-Wan show, because they're probably going to have more figures there. So it is possible.
Yeah, Loco Lou. I think this is coming. You can't have this Clone Wars collection, Loco Lou, without this freaking figure anyway.
I want this right here. Awesome. This right here has to come out. It has to. There's no way you're gonna give us an Annie and you're not gonna give us a Ben. You have to give us both. You have to give us both in the armor.
You know what though? Here's my only concern, and I don't really have a concern with this because he has a series coming out. They teased 2 freaking C-3POs. We didn't get that, and we can't have a Star Wars collection to call it a true collection without C-3PO in there. But I think that they teased those 2, again, to my point, during the dark times where nobody wanted to make figures, whether it was Hot Toys or Hasbro or Gentle Giant or Kotobi or any of them. None of them wanted to touch anything with those anyway. They would make clones. They would make some OT stuff. But I think with this right now, are you kidding me, baby? Let's go to you, Victoria, on this. Or go ahead, go Loco.
Oh, I was gonna say, as long as Annie sells, this will come out.
Yes.
As long as Annie sells with the staff, it will sell.
Yeah, or maybe it'll come out Victoria at the same time. Maybe they'll go ahead and they'll release that Anakin, and then they'll go ahead and say, "Hey, here you go." By the way, and this could possibly be. Which normally wouldn't happen with a head sculpt, but I could actually see this being a exclusive release if they have this done. Especially, I think they can do it if they're using the same head sculpt anyway, which it looks like it is from what they already released. I don't know. It could be a fast release.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that this would be released at the same time as the Anakin. It's kind of a companion piece, or the Anakin's a companion piece to Obi-Wan. I think it probably has more to do with the Obi-Wan series and them just wanting to not have too many Obi-Wan saturating the market. But I think we'll get this at some point. I think it's a good bet that we'll see these characters in these or similar costumes in the Obi-Wan series. And that could be part of the reason for the holdup as well. But yeah, I have no doubt that this is going to come out at some point.
Yeah, Jonathan, we've waited a long time for this. What do you think?
Man, I need this. I need it so bad, dude. He looks really good with the clone armor on too. I have, like I said earlier, I have the Anakin. I have all of the Anakins at this point. but I really need him next to Anakin with the staff. Do I think it'll come out in May? That would actually be perfect timing for the show.
It would be.
I'm gonna actually say yeah. That would be great for them to announce. Like I won't say final product images, probably like the full announcement of what will come with that particular Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Fabio, let's go to you. I'm going to have you answer that, but I'm going to bring up another one for you to answer at the same time because it's got to be a banger for May 4th. We talked C-3PO. I think Obi-Wan would work, to Jonathan's point. It works for the new series, especially if, he's going to have, there's a flashback and he's wearing that. Or something like this. If they came out with no other figures and just gave us Bespin Luke, baby, and they had no other figures. I mean, dude, what about this prospect as well? Go.
Well, what I think, like it happened last year. I think it was last year. We got things that nobody was even speaking about. You know what I mean? Like we were shown all these things that everybody was like, "Oh my god!" So I feel like this year, same thing is going to happen. We're going to get announcements of things. We're going to be shown things, and we're going to be like, "Oh my god!" And things that we never even expected. But this could be one of them. You know what I mean? This is long overdue, and I feel like this comes out. A lot of people who missed out on the DX one, the double pack, have been waiting for this forever, and I feel like it's about time to give them that. This Bespin Luke hasn't been reissued, ever. This would be the first time, and you're not even getting a reissue, you're getting a completely different, single figure, not like the double pack DX that that we got years ago. So this would be a good figure to be released for May. Absolutely.
Yeah, Dante, let's go to you with this. I know we've talked about this figure for quite a bit, and I think that they chose to come out with the Luke from the Mandalorian season 2 at the timing that they did. I feel like this one now, I feel like this has May 4th written all over it, baby. But go, Man of Hot Collectibles.
Yeah, me too. I think this is a May 4 one. And again, we have two options, right? Either May 4 or the Toy Fair exclusive. One of those two. But just for the meaning of this particular figure, I think it is more possible for May 4.
Yeah. Loco Lou, I know you want to go to this one, but I got to play this to kind of make you even more hyped up for this.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Come on, we need this figure, dude.
Yeah, this is a must-have. This is a must-have, especially for me. I missed out on the first one because I came late in the game into the 6-scale game. So, yeah, this is something that you have to have, especially for someone like me. I don't collect everything Star Wars. I'm collecting moments in Star Wars. So that way, each moment tells a story, and it's a moment that means something to me. So this is a definite get if and when they drop it.
Yeah, Victoria, Loco Lou brings up a great thing because I've been talking about this as well. It's about moments for me, and this is an incredible time. This Bespin Luke. It's been a long time since the DX07. That's a great moment that I just played. I feel like Hot Toys is coming out with moments, and I feel like just like with Marvel, and just like with some other with what they're doing with Marvel. Now that Star Wars is out of the dark times, and you have to fill up pre-orders, and we're going to get a ton of. I still think we're going to get stuff from Mandalorian season 2. I know we're going to get completely. We're going to get announcement crazed here with the Book of Boba Fett. I think we're going to get 4 or 5 figures at least over time. Now that the Chinese New Year is over, I feel like it's going to come out. Forget about Obi-Wan and everything else that they're coming out with, but they're going to mix in some other figures because there's a possible, Victoria, that they're more confident now that these Star Wars figures would sell. And you also have to consider, Victoria, that they're looking at the secondary market. And you look at everything Luke up on there right now, and it is absolutely through the roof, $500, $600, $700 range. Han Solo's going insane, over $600, $700 range by themselves. I think now's the time for them to say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and release this. We got the prototype. I think it'll sell.
Totally. I mean, I think most of these big companies that are making Star Wars collectibles are very reactionary. They look at sales data, they look at history, they look at the trends. You know, what are people focused on right now? And you know, Star Wars is doing really well all across the board in terms of how people are receiving the new content, in terms of how people are buying collectibles. They look at the secondary market to see what things are doing. So I think this is another good bet that we'll see this pretty soon. You know, we have the Hoth Luke that's currently, or Snowspeeder Luke that's currently on pre-order. I don't think it'll be too long before we get Bespin Luke on pre-order as well, and eventually we'll see it. But yeah, there is a lot of content to balance right now too. So it's just kind of figuring out, you know, how do you balance out Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, and also go back to some of these staples. Some of these are really essential. This is an absolutely essential character in this outfit. It's iconic. And I think, you know, when you come to something like that, even if this is a 2.0, it's still something that a lot of people are visually familiar with. Even if you're not like a hardcore Star Wars fan, you'll recognize Luke in this outfit. You'll know how it's a really critical piece. And I think companion pieces are really important too. We have Vader from Empire in this moment at the very end of the film. And you got to have this Luke to go with him as well. So I think we'll definitely see him at some point, hopefully this year.
Well, listen, this is going to be the last figure, and then we're going to wrap it up here on the Market Show Live for this Saturday evening. And please go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't yet. And please go ahead and subscribe to 6 Scale Cantina. Come on, if you're watching this for the first time. Come on, with 111 in here, smash it. And look, I'm going to just put this up on the screen because everyone asks me all the time. And it's not just for this set or this figure or this piece, but it's for something that I feel in my gut that we're going to get hit with something that we're not expecting. I think we're expecting stuff from The Mandalorian. And maybe figures. There's going to be figures that we're not expecting from there. Like, oh, I didn't think they'd do that. I think we're expecting stuff from Book of Boba Fett. And then figures that were like, oh, but I didn't think that they would make that one. We're going to get surprised. We're going to spill coffee. We're going to drink a lot of coffee. I think we're going to get a couple of OT figures and prequel figures that were like, oh, wow, we're spilling our coffee over. We didn't expect it. We kind of did. But could there be something like this, Loco Lou? Whether it's this or something else that's as epic, that they completely blow us out of the water with. Maybe like that Grievous. Maybe like this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bring it. Give it. Cough it up, baby. Cough it up. Dude, I would love to have this.
Dude, I'm going to get Quill with the blurg because I'm going to get in Quill, and I've decided I'm going to get him with the blurg for that look in the show. But, dude, I want this so much. I can't even express in words how much more I want this. Just be, come on.
This would have been a better offering, in my opinion, than the blurgs. Because this makes multiple appearances in all the fandoms and all the video games. You see, this right here, you need this. This is a must-have, But it's a shame we don't have it yet.
You know, I say yet because I'll be open. You say yes. Listen, Fabio, I'm going to go to you. We did talk about this, whether it's this or perhaps another figure that you're thinking of, or something like this, something where we're going to get our socks knocked off. You know, it certainly happened with when we had that Lando release out of nowhere. You know, we get this release, we get that release, or something like that. If you would have asked me some time ago when it was like The Last Jedi, or when the Solo movie didn't sell any tickets, or the controversy, Rise of Sky, you ask me now, dude, this breaks the internet. Dude, this sells. Something like this goes freaking insane. But I don't know. What do you think? Something like this? Maybe?
Well, I mean, so we're getting the blurg. This is going to be more popular than the blurg if it's released. I bought the 2 Sideshow figures, but I didn't get the Tauntauns because, I was like, number one, they're way too big. And I was afraid of, back then when they came out, just running out of room, because of statues, which is why I didn't get them on purpose. But I feel like at this point now, having those figures, and if Hot Toys decides to make them, I feel like it's a must. It's a must buy. I would definitely get them if they're made by Hot Toys. But like I said, because of Sideshow making statues and just being so big, I was like, nah. I was like, I don't need them. But absolutely, this will blow people's minds if it's released.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Go.
First off, I agree with Far from Death Star. I would love that. I have enough Mandalorians, but I definitely picked that one up. So
Yeah.
I agree with Sinister. I was actually going to touch on that now that they brought that up. I'm really hoping that the blurg sales don't affect it. I don't see why it would, but it is like it's their first Star Wars animal, right? The 1st like animal that they've created. I hope that it don't affect them creating this one, and that would be unfair, right? Tauntauns are like they're a staple at this point. Me personally, I wouldn't be picking these up, but I would hope that they make them for you all who really want them.
Yeah, Dante, going to you. And I'm trying to look at this picture here. I mean, I think the blurs are a little bigger than the Tauntauns, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe they're around the same time, the same size. I think the Tauntauns are a little smaller. But what do you? Go ahead, go. What do you think? Something something like this, something different?
Oh, this will break the internet 100%. This will be amazing if we have the set like this. I mean, there will be a no-brainer. Now they start doing animals, vehicles, whatever you want to call it. But this is something that I will definitely get. Just think about the quality, how this is gonna be done. What possibilities we may get in terms of accessories, in terms of a likeness. This is definitely something that I'm looking forward, and I really hope that this is really, really, really in the works.
Yeah, and Victoria 808 Michigan Jedi says these two would be the ultimate dual 2-pack or single figures for any Star Wars collector. I agree with him. For me, it would be there. I mean, of course, obviously, if they come out with an R2 or freaking C3PO 2-pack, I get both 2-packs. But I feel like Star Wars Victoria is possibly, I always say is a possible, and I do say yes, whether it's this or something else from the OT or prequels that maybe we haven't talked about yet, that maybe we're not considering, because I think we're out of the dark times. I think sales are up. I think ratings are up. I think there's more and more shows, and you can mix in one here, one there, one here. I think it's going to be very heavy, all the new stuff. Sure. But I do think we're going to get a few things like this that are going to keep the very old fans that want something from the original trilogy out there from time to time. And they usually do. They usually do have a few things up from the original trilogy up every year.
Yeah.
Yes, I hope that the beasts continue. I think that Jonathan makes a good point in suggesting that, there's a lot riding on the blurg. If the blurg does well and people buy it and, show their support that they want to see more in that kind of a format, that will continue to see beasts explore things like the Tauntaun, things like Jabba the Hutt, things like Dewbacks. I mean, there's a lot of potential for things from the original trilogy. And, if you go into the prequels and then into the sequels even, and Mando. So, I mean, I think that there's a lot of possibility, but I think that, it's one of those vote with your wallet type things. If the blurg does well and they see that there's people that are going to support it, then, that increases the likelihood of Tauntauns and other things. And I would really like to get a proper Hot Toys Jabba the Hutt. So I hope that eventually comes to pass, but Tauntauns would be cool too. So hopefully
Jabba can be one, because a lot of us think that it wouldn't, because you got the sideshow what and why. But look, stranger things have happened with Hot Toys, and it's interesting because you had the Hut, the twins there, Jabba's cousins, and you never know. You never know. I mean, I remember last year where there was some portion of us that were like, hey, no, I don't see Quill, I don't see that. They came out with a ton. I don't know. It's getting more and more popular now, guys, and I think that. I think we're going to be in for some really, really special stuff for Star Wars Hot Toys in 2022. And I think May 4th is it possible that they're going to get it right this year, Hot Toys, for Star Wars. And I say, yes, I think they learned their lesson, but we'll see. Listen, yeah, bringing this up, this because I'm all out of coffee. I have a half a cup. It goes to this guy. Fabio, what is going on Fabs Figures, better known as Fabio Land, at least in my view? Come on. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me as usual, Aries. I appreciate the invites always. My channel, FabsFigures, it's just showing you guys my collection, my figures when I get them. I'm on TikTok, FabsFigures. I'm on Instagram under FabsFigures as well. So yeah, check me out.
Check out Fabio. Listen, I've got the link to Fabio's figures within the video description below. And I also have him on 6scalecantina.com or the resources and links tab. So make sure you do that. This guy's got an awesome, awesome collection. Boston Collectors, good to have you back in here, my man. What's going on?
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to get that call and you're like, hey, man, listen, we need you.
We need you.
I got to answer, man.
Come on.
So I appreciate you for having me up here. And thank you all, Victoria, Dante, Loco Lou with the sexy fade. And Fabs, thank y'all for having me too. So, I mean, obviously, subscribe to Boston Collectors if you're interested in unboxing and reviews. I'm actually going to be working on the unboxing and review here for Attack of the Clones Yoda. He's pretty close to being done, but I just have to lay down the voice track. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely subscribe for that. The wife and I, we're going to be doing a couple of videos on the Book of Boba Fett, but time and all of that. We do have Instagram for photography. If you all like that, feel free to follow us there. Boston Collectors, TikTok, Boston Collectors as well. She's going to be unboxing, my wife, that is, Pennywise, and I think you had that one, right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be unboxing and reviewing that soon, too. So.
Well, and yeah, that's another set that's going up, my friend. That's another one. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, make sure you all subscribe to Jonathan here at Boston Collectors. I also have a link at 6 Scale Cantina and within the video description here. Loco Lou, come on. In here for the first time. Is it possible that the Dark Jedi, Aries Tarrington, who serves up all the Star Wars Hot Toys talk, needs to get you in here more? And I say yes. Come on, baby.
Yes, baby. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure seeing the rest of the panel. Thank you everybody for being patient with me. I had to go get the sexy fade, like Boston Collector said. But yeah, man, it was an honor, and you can catch me at Loco Lou on YouTube, Loco Lou 526 on Instagram. You see some shots of my multiple scale displays. I have everything from Mezco to Hot Toys and NECA, and later tonight, Pose Wars with Collecting Weekly. So I'll be over there. I know Fabio's allergic to posing, so you can catch me there, man. I'm going to go, open a fresh can of Wizardry, what's and you can catch me here again. Whenever the invite comes, whenever you call, I'll answer.
Oh, that's awesome. Good having Loco Lou in here. Come on. And listen, I got your video. I got the same thing with you on 6 Scale Cantina and also on here in the video description as well. And what about the Man of Hot Collectibles? Look, are we going to be live next Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern? Are you going to have your live show, buddy? Go and go.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Aris, for the invite. Nice to see everyone here in the panel and you guys at home. So what's going on? We're gonna have a show tomorrow for the members only. We're gonna have a live stream in the morning. Tuesday we're gonna have the Between Collectors show, and then Friday 8:30 p.m. Eastern we're gonna have the regular live stream. Sorry I had to cancel yesterday. I had some issues, but everything is fine. And you should expect a review of the zombie Deadpool courtesy of FabsFigures. I always open his figures first. So that should be dropping sometime next week, and I'm preparing something special for that particular review. So yeah, that's it. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, the group 6 Scale Media, and that's it. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Come on. My good friend Dante for the Man of Hot Collectibles in here. Come on. And then Victoria, so great to have you back here with the Market Show Live. Had a lot of fun again. And what is going on Victoria's Cantina?
Yeah, totally. And I just got to say, I think I have some competition now with Loco Lou with the hair. You know, I got competition.
Ain't no competition.
That's
You,
awesome.
girl.
Thank you. No, it's been a blast. Thanks as always, Aries. So yeah, Victoria's Cantina, we're on YouTube. We've been on YouTube since 2013. We're almost at 34,000 subscribed. Hit us up. You know, I just did a video on the HasLab Razor Crest. That's kind of the big thing in the Star Wars Hasbro collecting community. You know, we've been waiting a year and a half on this, and we paid for it up front in 2020, and now we're finally getting it. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I did a showcase on the channel. It's gorgeous. I have a whole display of it now with all the figures and everything. It's just so interactive. It's so cool. And we do Cantina Cocktail Hour. Aries, you were a guest like 2 weeks ago on Cocktail Hour, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific time. Our friend Leia, 1/6 Scale Man, is going to be with us next Friday. So really looking forward to that. And we got the Cantina Chatter podcast. We have the Vintage Collection podcast, new episode of that coming this week. I was just recording an episode right before I came into this today. And we're on Instagram at Victoria's Cantina and on Twitter at Vic's Cantina. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. And thanks again to everybody here on the panel. And thanks to everybody who's been hanging out with us here in the chat and watching along.
No, that's awesome. And make sure you subscribe to Victoria's Cantina. Also have the link at sixscalecantina.com and within the video description below. And for all these fine panelists that are in here today, that I've had the honor of them having on my show. And then what's going on with me? Look, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen because, you know, sixscalecantina.com. Make sure you go ahead and bookmark it. It has the latest information, what's going on the channel. I will be having a live show tomorrow. Absolutely. You can catch me live in the afternoon with Cantina Insiders. So if you're interested in becoming a Cantina Insider, just hit that little join button within the channel here. It shows you everything that it comes with. You get great pre-recorded shows. You get heightened analysis, expanded thoughts on things going on within the secondary market. Some shows hosted by the Hot Toys Wizard. Yes. And again, I'll be having a live show tomorrow. You could just go to sixscalecantina.com, this little teal banner here on the right side when you get down, and it shows you some of the banners like Insiders Live, what goes into the chart, Wizard hosts a show, Grogu with the NWO, me hanging out with Felicity Jones, my crazy unboxings. Come on, baby. So definitely check that out. And don't forget to check out the Biggest Movers section and the market chart show as well. So you don't want to miss that. Goodness gracious. And what else is going on with me here? Yes, so I'll be live with Insiders tomorrow. I will be live and raw this coming Monday. It'll be me and a whole panel of all of you for live and raw market chart show this coming Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You absolutely don't want to miss that. We'll be continuing on from where we left off here. And then, of course, Wednesday, the Aries Harrington Show. And this week's special guest, we're going to have Fabio. We're going to have Easy Company Collectibles, both of them back as well. We're also going to have Desi in the house, so you don't want to miss that. I will be live tomorrow as well. I think I'm on Will's show for tomorrow night. I will be on Dante's show next Friday, and it's probably other shows. It's all escaping my mind, so don't forget that. But yeah, this was a lot of fun tonight, everybody. Thank you all so much for being in here. And again, don't forget to subscribe to everybody in here. Everyone in here really appreciates your support for sure. And I will end it like this. I don't always buy Spotchka out, but when I do, I buy from Six Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.